from Nashville, Tennessee. It's the Three. And here's your host, Laura Harris-Smith.
Hi, everybody. I'm Laura Harris-Smith, and welcome to The Three. Great show for you today. If you know my story, you know that mine is one of having a 4-decade-plus long neurological history story. The brain is a complex thing. I mean, it can have as many malfunctions as it does functions. And so I think you're going to know the name of my guest today, but you may not know what a miracle is that he's sitting here with us today. I want to welcome you to The Three. Benny DiChiara, thank you so much. I am absolutely just, when I heard about your story, which should be the main story, what God has done for you, and yet your talent, your anointing, your giftings, we'll get into all of that in the later segments, but I'm astonished that you can even still put two words together after what's happened. Yeah, so tell us about your TBI, traumatic brain injury. Tell us what happened that led to it.
Well, and I'll try to make this as condensed as possible.
Yes, it's going to have to be as condensed as possible.
So 2016, there was an election going on, so I'm the Politico in my house, so I'm watching. There was a lot of crazy people running, so I watched that stuff till the wee hours, and I wound up falling asleep on my sofa. So at 6:30 in the morning, my alarm and my phone goes off, but it's in the bedroom with my wife. So I'm like, and I recall her coming out with the phone extended to me. I stood up. I've got a 20-minute memory hole still to this day. This is 8.5 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
Nothing. And I think it's God's way of protecting me what happened.
Wow.
And so the next thing I did remember at the house was that she says, listen, you really need to lie down in the bed. Well, I was a Navy corpsman, like a medic. So I'm like, well, you don't lay anybody down with a head injury. But I was like, okay. And I'm laying in the bed. And you know, for your viewers and your listeners, it is amazing to me that something way back in my early adult life, which was my military training, how it came rushing forward all those years later for me to notice what was going on. And so I'm in the bed, I look over and I'm like, babe, we have to go. And so we go to the hospital and ICU and MRIs and CTI scans, and I was in the hospital for 2-3 days. They wanted to make sure I didn't get into any seizure activity because of it. And basically, she's explaining to the neurosurgeons what had happened. She said, when I got to the hardwood floor of our living room, I was horizontal, went down, didn't trip or anything, just down. And when my head hit the floor, it sounded like a gunshot going off. I had a double fracture in the back of the base of my skull. I had a frontal lobe crush here. I had an internal brain bleed, and because my skin didn't break, I just kind of bled out into my face. It was gorgeous. Man, it was like guy liner. It was bad.
I bet.
And so, sorry.
For a long time.
Sense of humor's out there.
It was probably discolored for a long time.
For a bit. And so we go, and after 3 days in the hospital, everything says, listen, so the brain's going to shut itself down. That's how it heals. And I was like, okay. So he's like, home you go. So we went home. Donna became a full-time nurse every 3 hours. A little bottle of Ensure, a little bottle of Powerade. So I was getting some kind of nourishment. I lost 30 pounds in a month. Slept 20 hours a day for the first month.
That's important.
In my recliner. And then gradually starting. So it was like a 3-4 month process before I was released. Yeah, it was. I had a walker. I'm on a ceiling most of the time, right? As if you might not tell, the energy level's a little juiced. And I've got a walker to get around the house. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And yeah, it was crazy.
So then we don't really know what happened? Still?
We do. We do.
Okay. What happened?
God decided He really, really needed my attention, and and at this point, I'm saved. I'm ordained. I've got all this. I've got a Christian rock band. I've got all these things going, and my name's not Jonah, and there wasn't a fish available. So He's like, that looks like a good section of hardwood over there. Let's do that. And it was. It was just, I think...
Interesting take.
Yeah, I really think it was to get my attention.
I have been on the receiving end, I'll call it that. I don't know that God did something to me per se. I can't figure that one out theologically, but I can tell you that he wanted me all to himself, and he got my attention, and I was on bed rest for 12 weeks one time.
See?
And
same thing.
I don't do alone very well. You're the oldest of 6 kids. I've got 6 kids.
That's right.
It was inconvenient. It's never convenient, you know,
Never.
to just have your world shut down. But if the Lord wants your full attention, then he can definitely get it. So then 3 or 4 months, you recover. When were you back in the saddle creatively? Like, because you do so many things.
So I've had an ad agency for my whole life, and kind of what I did, but then I had the music too. I'll share a secret tidbit with you. So month 2, near the end of month 2, I'm able to be left at home alone because I have a walker to get to the restroom. So
Wow.
And it's just where you are, right? Wow. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
So Donna was able to go to the store. So she goes to the store. I'm in a recliner. Some of your viewers, listeners may relate to this, and some are going to go, this boy's crazy. But honestly, there is a man's voice in my living room. Audible man's voice. Now, as an artist, you know, the Holy Spirit gives you something and says, take this, run with it, do that. Same for you for your show, right? The Holy Spirit says, this was audible. It's the first and only time in my entire audible. And I was frightened because it was not a normal thing, but I was excited. I knew who it was. It could only be.
Well, we've already established he wanted you all to himself.
He
sends Donna to the store.
And so
I'm with you. Go ahead.
You know what he tells me? He says, Benny, I have huge and great plans for you coming out of this thing. So I did what anybody would do. I kind of snot cried myself to sleep. And it happened a couple of days. And so in the middle of the couple of days, the last day, audibly, he says, Benjamin, I'm telling you, I have something huge planned for you out of this thing. And I'm sitting there, so now I'm semi-coherent at this point, and I'm like, Lord, I know what you're doing. Jeremiah 29:11 is my favorite verse. Right? For I know the plans I have for you, not plans to not harm you, right? For a hope in the future. I'm like, you're affirming my favorite verse. As I'm coming out of this thing, is that what's going on? He says, so look, the next song you write for me needs to be titled Jeremiah 29:11. He says, I don't want to hear the verse in the music.
Oh, okay.
But when people hear the song,
when they hear it, they'll know.
They need to know that what I did for you, how I stepped into your life and saved it, I can do the same thing for them if they pressed in.
I love it.
And then he audibly gave me the lyrics. Yeah, it's scary.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
it's scary.
When we come back from the break, I want to... What a segue. Okay, so I want you to expound more on that, but that's not the only thing. He's had more plans for you even. So you're going to want to hear the rest of this story. Stay close. We'll be right back after the break.
Some people don't yet realize that essential oils were put by God into our leaves, trees, flowers, and grasses on the 3rd day of creation, all to promote health, provide prevention, and yes, even cures. Other people get that, but maybe they've never had any real success with one particular essential oil, which is why I create oil blends, giving you a better chance for a positive result with numerous health benefits. But there's one thing we all agree upon, and that is that essential oils smell good. They fill up a room with any mood that you need, anytime that you need it. We call it aromatherapy. But maybe you don't know the science behind why aromatherapy works. You see, we inhale through our nasal passages, and the nasal passages have direct access to the limbic brain, which is the emotional center of the brain. This means that scent is immediately tied to mood, but that's good news because you can change your mood by merely changing the aroma in your room. It's like therapy in a bottle, and that's why we call it aromatherapy. At Neuromatics Oil, we take the business of aromatherapy very seriously. We offer you a wide variety of options: candles, diffuser sets, nasal inhalers, even diffuser jewelry so that you can wear your essential oils all day long. Quiet Brain for natural relief from insomnia, anxiety, headache, and more. Happy Brain to lift mood and even help with appetite suppression and depression. And Sharp Brain to help with focus and cognitive memory issues. Naturally, the oil blends themselves, applied topically on the skin, are going to provide faster and more potent relief. But if you're looking for a way to enjoy our oil blends without using them on the skin, Aromatherapy is for you. And Neuromatics Oil has you covered. Go to lauraharrismith.com/CTN or use your phone and scan the QR code on your screen with your camera app. Or call 1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET BRAIN.
1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET BRAIN.
Did you know that there are more than 600 Bible references to aromatic plants and essential oils? Did you know that once upon a time they were our only medicines? They're still medicine today. You see, God made plants and their essential oils to support your health. They're drug-free remedies that can be used from the comfort of your own home with little to no side effects. And although only 5% of natural products get patented, my oil blends, Quiet Brain, Happy Brain, and Sharp Brain, did. Because third-party lab tests proved that they crossed the blood-brain barrier with potent relief for everything from migraines to memory loss, insomnia, anxiety, seizures, weight problems, even depression. So go to neuromaticsoil.com today to see my patented oil blends, and there are dozens of therapeutic products, healing lotions, bubble baths, nasal inhalers, even shampoo and conditioners, all created by our family for the health of yours. Go to lauraharrismith.com/CTN or call 1-855-784-3827. 1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET BRAIN.
I have great plans for you. My plan is to prosper you.
Hey everybody, I'm Laura. You're watching The Three. Really glad that you're with us today, especially if you are a creative or if you've ever had any kind of lengthy recuperation in your life physically where you were down for the count and wondered if you would ever make a comeback. Today's show guest is so going to inspire you. Benny, before the break, you were telling us about the song that God gave you, Jeremiah 29:11. We heard a little bit of it coming back in here to this segment. Gorgeous song. I love your heart for, you even said he told you the words from the verse aren't going to be in the song, but you're basically inspiring people with a hope and a future.
That's right.
So many people don't know that they have a hope, and I'm astonished at how many people don't know that. They're coasting through life. It is a promise. So you get better. Mm-hmm. What's the first thing that you did? Go out and record the song, or did you have other endeavors? Because I know you've had others.
Yeah. So at that point, I had the lyrics. I mean, which looked like a third grader wrote them on my blotter pad at my desk because I'm going back and forth from my chair to just big circles. But I knew what it said, and did it. And at that point, so that's on the 3 Days record. So 3 Days came out, and that song's on 3 Days. And we're produced by Mikey Howard. He's just a fantastic artist, friend, producer. He's something. He's family now. So, and then we just released over this past year. We just released Yahweh Nisi, which is our new record. Yes. So, and it's so far as hope. And people say, "Well, give me an example of hope." I don't know. How do you cut 2 records after a traumatic brain injury?
Wow. I mean, that alone.
That's hope.
Yeah.
That's hope. And God has a plan for you. And so, my history with that, and you probably have viewers who've been through worse. 5 years ago, my wife had breast cancer, and so she had to have surgery, and praise Jesus, she's healed from that. It's great. My drummer's son was diagnosed with leukemia and went through a year of intense chemo and all that. And guess what? He just rung the bell in August, and he's bragging to all of his friends at school what Jesus did.
Praise God.
But my story is not your story. And our stories are not his story, right? But all of our stories combined create his story.
That's right.
And our gift to for me, you only have to almost die once. So for me, that's his gift to me. What I choose to do with it is my gift back to him.
Right.
So, I mean, it's fire time. I'm on fire. And we're just, for me, it's a stage and lights and sound, and we do shows and all that kind of great. That's great. For a doctor, it could be his clinic. It could be his office. It could be an OR. For you, it's your ministry. And everybody has a platform.
Everybody has one.
What are you going to do with it?
That also means that the enemy has a blueprint to take it down.
Absolutely.
He is literally has nothing better to do as his job description than to steal, kill, or destroy that.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. I mean, I've been unconscious 80 times and woken up each one of those times to, bruises, and mine was seizures, violent convulsions. And like I told you before the show, nothing could help me. And so I love the stories that you're telling of how God intervened and used medicine. And in my case, I did have some medicine, but it wasn't doing what it needed to do. So I wound up having to, this is the design of the Lord, I had to get involved. I became a nutritionist, then a naturopathic doctor, then my PhD was in like a patenting, inventions and things for my own health, and now it's helping people all over the world. So sometimes Jehovah Sneaky has this plan to actually broaden, not just heal you, but give you the healing ministry. Now you referenced already Yahweh Nisi, and I know what this means. But this is a great way, this is a great place for us to tell people who don't know what Yahweh Nisi or Jehovah Nisi means, and give them that hope. Tell us about this project.
Every project, before I write it, is prayed over. God was dropping his name, Yahweh, on me like repeatedly. And I'm like, I get it.
Okay.
I get it. Yahweh, the name of God, right? But then he's like, hey, Yahweh Nisi, and like, the Lord is my banner. If you think about it, like in biblical days when Israel went to war, if the standard bearer went left, the army went left, that type thing. God spoke to me and said, the world's in a really evil place right now, with people in positions of power, government, school, academia, just
entertainment,
all over, even the pulpit sometimes. Right? He says there's a huge portion of people on earth who call themselves Christian, and their mouths are silent. It's almost like, oh, I'm a Christian. Look at that went on over there.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't come here,
right, exactly.
Right? And God is saying, I need a battle cry. Like, let's go, because I'm gonna send my son soon. So let's go and let's get people opened up there. If true Christians were really on fire for God, like they could be, we could easily change the world, and it would be rapid.
Yeah, we would live in revival.
It would not, right? And it would be, you would just, you know how, like Bonanza, remember like Bonanza, and the map burned.
Right.
That's what it would be like.
Would
and
be,
so,
you're right.
and so I think, our job, all of our jobs, but particularly mine, I think, is because the gift of music is what he's given me. That's my vehicle to deliver his message.
Right, I love it. Okay, Yahweh Nisi, and of course you talked about the standard bearer. The Lord is your victory. He is your banner. He is the one who carries that for you. I found out once upon a time that my forefathers 25 generations ago in England were actually the flag bearers. This rode beside the king in battle and held the nation's colors. It's the only thing that would remind you what you're fighting for, and that is a picture of Jehovah or Yahweh Nisi, who carries that banner and reminds you why you're fighting. So what a perfect soundtrack. Like, if you got stuff going on in your life, if stuff's going on in your life, you need a soundtrack to your suffering. If I could put it that way, you need a soundtrack to your victory.
That's right.
So we've got Yahweh Nisi, Jesus Can Heal the World, Soul Shaker, I Surrender All, and I love this one, Daddy's Song, I'll Meet You There. Tell us about that one.
So, well, thanks for that.
So, do you need a tissue?
we're gonna rein it in, I think. Okay. I hope. So, man, my daddy. So, little Sicilian man. My daddy taught me everything about integrity. The biggest thing I got from my daddy was integrity, and he had. All of his plumbing got reworked over his life. I mean, bypasses everywhere, quintuple bypass, and he was just, it was heredity bad.
Okay.
So all of that, and I'm the oldest of 6, so I used to always share with my siblings.
You
like,
understand fractions
one day
when you're
we're going to
from a
get
big family.
right, and it's the Navy medic jumping down. I'm like, one day we're going to get a call, and boop, and Dad's,
it's going to be over.
But one day he got a pain in his hip, and he told my mom, I think I have a blood clot, because he was self-diagnosing, which is also my daddy. and they went to the doctor, they ran PET scans, all that kind of stuff, and the doctor comes back to him and he says, hey man, like, you have cancer. And my dad says, really? And he goes, well, how bad is it? Which is also my daddy. and the doc says, like, get your things in order. Like, we're talking, you're there. And so Daddy and I, one of the hardest things I ever heard from him was a few days after this diagnosis. We're sitting in his house, and he looks at me and he goes, hey, I may not be here for you next week. So I was like, in my spirit, I'm grieved by
Wow.
that. But in my mind, I'm going, okay, he's come to acknowledgement, right? So 3 days, the following week, I'm having a discussion with him, and I'm like, so Dad, I need to talk to you. And he says, sure. I said, so not only do you have a place at the buffet table, you have a name tag set up. So I need you to tell me that you know where you're going. And he says, yes, Pastor Boy, I know where I'm going. And that's his nickname for me. And I'm like, cute any other day, Dad, but if you cannot tell me for you, tell me for me, because I need to know this. And he says, hey, Jesus died, he rose again. I'm going to heaven. I believe that, right? I'm like, absolutely, Dad, you're about to be immaculately healed. And it's not going to be here. So it's going to be great for you, but it is literally going to suck for us, if I'm being real.
But did you write the song before or after?
And I said, however, I know where to find you, and I know I'm going to see you again. So with all this sorrow, there's joy.
Yeah, that's right.
There's joy. And so, and then in 9 days it took from the diagnosis to him passing. Yeah, we had that discussion like 2 days before he passed. 2-3 days before he passed.
Oh, Benny, I cannot even get my head around that.
And for me, my Navy medic self kicked in, and I'm like, thank you, Jesus, for a short-term thing, because it was, I read his
for a good doctor. I mean, honestly, so you would have had no warning and no goodbyes and any of that. Okay, well, after the break, I want to make sure that you have a lot of other stuff that you do too. So we want to talk about all of that, and you don't want to go anywhere. Stay close.
So you're on our website trying to select your favorite products, or maybe put a gift package together for a friend. Well, we've done the work for you. Our Pause package encourages rest and contains 1 Quiet Brain healing lotion, therapeutic bubble bath, and a Quiet Brain 50-hour burn candle. Our Uplift package gives you a real mood boost with a Happy Brain candle, healing lotion, and bubble bath. The Self-Care package contains the Quiet Brain healing lotion, bubble bath, and healing shampoo and conditioner. Our Awaken package is made with our Sharp Brain blend and includes 1 nasal inhaler, 1 dropper bottle of oil, 1 bottle of healing lotion, and a Sharp Brain candle. The Sweet Dreams package is popular because it contains 1 dropper bottle of Quiet Brain oil, 1 satin sleep eye mask, and a copy of my best-selling book, Seeing the Voice of God, What God is Telling You Through Dreams and Visions. And don't forget our Quiet Brain gift box, our best value, with a sampling of almost all Quiet Brain products. 1 Whisper Quiet Nightlight Diffuser, 1 dropper bottle of oil, a nasal inhaler, candle, shampoo and conditioner set, and even a satin sleep eye mask. But my personal favorite is our trio oil sets that allow you to sample all 3 of our patented neuromatic oil blends while only paying for 2. They're available in dropper bottles, rollerball bottles, and our eyedropper pump bottle. Scan the QR code on your screen, go to lauraharrismith.com/CTN, or call 1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET BRAIN.
1-855-784-3827. That's 1-855-QUIET BRAIN.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to The Three. I'm Laura Harris-Smith, here with my very special guest today, Benny DiChiara. He was telling us about his traumatic brain injury, his recovery from that, and about incredible creative downloads that came on the other side of that. I really want to encourage you today that if you find yourself in a place of recuperation, recovery, needing healing, still crying out for healing, you've heard a lot of stories today of God doing miraculous things medically. You know my story. And so I just want to urge you, you've got days left ahead that you still have to serve the Lord in and complete those goals, those desires, really things He's put in your heart to do for Him. You need to be inspired today that you can get those done. So, Benny, we talked about your project, Yahweh Nisi. Where can they find this?
They can go to our website and get in touch with us if they want to. So our website is ROCKIN, the number 4, Jesus. So it's rockinforjesus.com. Really easy to forget.
You know, in the South, we drop G's anyway. So Rockin' for Jesus.
Everything's cut short.
Dot what?
As it should be, .com.
Rockinforjesus.com. Okay.
And then if people stream, we're on every single stream.
Spotify,
our whole
iTunes.
catalog is on Spotify, Apple, YouTube,
Great.
Instagram, Facebook. Let me share this with you because you're healing. So we did a show in Joplin, Missouri in November. And we were headlining the show. We went 11 hours up there. Fantastic people put it on, everything. And it's 3rd song into our set, the sound goes out in our in-ear monitors, right? It's gone. So I look at my guitar player and he's like, I got nothing. So ironically, this is how God works, folks. This is how God works. The only thing working was my microphone in the front of house speakers. So right?
Yeah.
So I look up and I'm in a moment, and people who are watching may be in a moment and don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So what do? You do this. I was like, well, Lord, what do you have for me? Right? And he says, pray now, ask. And so I do. This is a 1,500 person room, right? So I go, hey, everybody, we have time with the sound. God is saying, if you have a specific prayer request, come to the stage. We're going to do it right now. One person comes up, and it's this young lady, and she's wearing a younger lady. She's wearing a beanie cap, everything, and we're having a discussion off the front of the stage. And she says, "Well, I have cancer." So I'm like, "Wow!" And I relate because Donna, right? And I'm like, "Well, we're going to cover that. How are you?" And she says, "I'm fine. I've had 2 rounds of chemo. I have to start another one in December.
Oh boy.
So, but God has this. I just need prayer for that." And I'm like, fantastic. And is there anything else? She goes, "Oh, I have a brain tumor too." And I'm thinking, so I look at the ceiling now and I'm like, seriously, Lord? I
really?
mean,
Yeah.
and, right? And I said, so you know what I did? I got mad, like in my spirit.
That has happened to me before, and it always bears good fruit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What is that righteous anger?
I'm roiled.
Yeah.
I was like, this will not stand. So
Right.
everybody in here, extend your hand.
Good for
I mean,
you.
everybody, and we just shut it down. It was like 10, I don't even know what was spoken in this prayer. And I jumped down after, and she gets a little hug, and I told her, I said, do not let the devil steal from you what just happened. You had an entire room of people praying over you, which is stronger.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you were talking about earlier, right? You know who the great physician is? He that heals us. And so we're going through that and everything. And her family members, I had no idea, were in our merch table later. And they said, can we get a hug? And I'm like, sure. And I was like, wow, that was a big one. She says, you don't understand. That was our sister that you prayed for. We've never seen anything like that. And I said, please do not give me credit for that. Do not give us credit as a band for that. But God provided a 10-minute window of opportunity for her. The reason we're here is for her. And when you come to that realization, boy, there's freedom in that. And if anybody who's been through anything, there's freedom in it.
And you know
God
what
has a
else
plan.
is that you are now comforting people with the comfort with which you've been comforted, which is that
Correct.
that is a ministry for sure.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I want you to go to rockinforjesus.com, pick up Yahweh Nisi. Benny, it has been such a pleasure to, Miracle Talking to Miracle
That's right.
today. Inspire people with you. You're an inspiration to me.
Thanks so much.
Pleasure to know you. All right, everybody, another great episode of The Three. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.